Welcome to Fitzy's Fabulous Scrapbooks. My name's Michelle Fitzgerald, aka Fitzy, and I'm an independent advisor for creative memory scrapbooking. I'm here to help you make your scrapbooks fabulous. I'm glad you could join me today, and happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there today. I have a funny little story I'm going to tell you about myself, and then we'll get into what we're making today. But let's go to my workspace first, and let's see what we can do. All right. So today we're going to be working with sketches, and I actually came up with this cool little technique to help you figure out how to work with sketches. It's a little, I think, different from what other people have been doing out there. So hopefully you'll find it helpful. But one funny little story first. So my nails have gel on them, the gel manicure. I'm sure a lot of you have done that before. And right before I started recording, one of them came off. So what's a scrapper to do when something like that happens? Well, I got my tape runner. It's not just for scrapping anymore. So at the end of the video, if you hang in there with me, I'll show you which nail it was. Isn't that a nice little surprise for you? All right, and let me just get down to a little bit of just housekeeping, if you want to call it. This is Fitzy's Fabulous Scrapbooks, where you'll learn techniques, tips, and tricks. My Facebook group is FRQ Glitz Girls Scrapbooking Group. Myself and two of my team members run this group. We're a free community of scrappers where we share, we learn, get motivation, and just a lot of support and fun with everybody else in the group. There's a lot of interaction there. So if you haven't joined us and you'd like to, feel free to go and just answer a couple of simple questions when you request to join. All right. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to send them to me at Fitzy's Fabulous Scrapbooks at gmail.com. And if you don't already have a fabulous advisor, I would love to be yours. Feel free to take a look at my website and purchase anything that you think you may need. If you already have a fabulous advisor, then stick with her. She's working hard for you and she deserves that credit. And I also have a growing team and I would love to add to it. So if that's something that you think interests you, feel free to contact me. I'd love to chat with you about it. Okay, so let's get to sketches. Oh, sketches, the blessing and the curse. All right. So, at one point, they're great because they motivate you, they inspire you, they give you great ideas, and it's fun to see what everybody else does with them. But then when you go to work with it and you look at a sketch, you think, well, what do I do with this? There's no numbers, there's no measurements, there's nothing. So I'm going to try to help you with that a little bit today. First of all, this is a book that was, I think it was a promo, to be truthful. But it has 110 different sketches and ideas in here. I do have a couple of these in stock, so if anyone is interested, let me know. But today we are going to be dealing with a sketch that is in this book. And it is this sketch right here. Now, I created this sketch with Leave Nothing Behind, that brand new collection that just came out. So everything on this page here is from that collection. All right. I'll even hold it up a little closer to the camera so you can get a good look at everything. Aren't these papers pretty? As soon as I saw this little pebbly dirt type paper, I knew this was going to be perfect, because look at the background in this photo. It's all that dirt and pebbles right around the little pond. So these pictures are really important to me because these are pictures with my dad, who's no longer with us. But he took myself, my daughter, my mom, my husband, and my two sons fishing. We went a few times actually, but this was his favorite little spot, not too far away from where I grew up. And he was showing my boys how to fish. It was a great little day. He had fun, the kids had fun, we all had fun. So these pictures are definitely important to me. All right. And when this collection came out, I just thought this is perfect, right? Okay. So I'm going to put this over to the side. And today I'm going to be using our Moments collection. So now you're not going to be using full sheets. If you want to create along with me, that's fine. You're just going to be using, other than your base page, which I'm going to use this one, the rest of it, you're just going to be using a few strips or circles, nothing major. So you could get away with scraps. You don't need to use full sheets. I just don't have any scraps with this. This is my first time working with this collection, so I'm really excited. And the colors are beautiful. I just love this purple. Gorgeous. All right. So let's get to the sketch part first, and then we'll apply it. All right. Now, this is my own little technique that I have come up with. So I am calling it the plus sign technique. And I hope it works for you guys because I found it really helpful to me. So all you need is your zero centering ruler. You can use a regular ruler too if you don't have a zero centering, but I feel like this one is really, I don't know, I feel like it helps me more so than a regular ruler would, but use what you have and just a pencil. All right. So we're going to take our zero centering ruler and we're going to put it on this little sketch. I photocopied this out of the book that I just showed you. And I just want to make sure that I get as centered as possible. And I'm going to have to stand up because if you haven't met me, I am vertically challenged. So I can't see everything unless I stand up. So once I feel that I have the center, I'm just gonna mark it with a little pencil mark. All right. So that's going to be my vertical line. And then I'm going to come over and I'm going to center this way as well so I can get a vertical, I'm sorry, a horizontal line. All right. So put it to the edge. Now, don't be afraid of the ruler and the pencil. I am not one who likes to measure. I avoid it at all costs. I'm not going to lie. However, in this instance, it's really helpful and you'll see why. Now, before we do anything else, I just want to go over the fact that this is a creative memory sketch. All creative memory sketches, to my knowledge, are based on a 12 by 12 page. This is going to be important and always keep that in the back of your mind. Unless it is stated otherwise, I would say that they're always 12 by 12 for the most part sketches. So we're going to go and we're going to draw our line, and you can make it as dark or light as you want. The key is to just make it so you can see it, because you need it. All right. And once you get one, go do your other one. And it doesn't have to be exact, but it's just trying to get you in the ballpark of what you need to know. All right. Now, I have my plus sign. I'm going to hold this up so you guys can see it. All right. Now, what this plus sign does is it creates quadrants, 4 different sections. So here's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. So if this is a 12 by 12 page, I know that each one of these sections is now a 6 by 6 inch square. All right. That's important to know. And I'll show you why. So let's move this over here and let's get to our paper. So here's my base page. Now I'm going to pull up my trimmer because I'm going to have to do some cutting. All right, I'm going to start with this paper here. So I'm looking at square number 4. All right, in square number 4, I see that there's a little bit of the base page showing. There's a lot up in 1 and 2, right? You see a lot of that background there. But down in 4, you don't, in square 3 too, you don't see a whole lot, just a little bit. Then you have a pretty good size width on your first strip here. And then your second strip, it looks similar in size, but to me, it looks a little smaller. So yes, I'm still doing a little guesswork, don't get me wrong, but at least now I know I'm basing this on 6 inches height-wise, okay? 12 inches across, 6 inches up. So with that being said, I'm going to make this piece here my largest piece, okay? I'm going to make this piece here a little bit smaller, and the background piece here is going to be the smallest, all right? So with that in mind, one thing I want you to realize with the sketches, Creative Memories uses different colors to tell you what different papers are. These 2 rectangles right here are your photos. So don't get confused. Those are photos. And I picked out my 2 rectangle photos for this layout I just showed you. So let me just pull that out one more time so you can see it. So that became my 2 photos, all right? These 2 here. Now I am looking at this strip and this strip. And notice how there's all my background paper here. All right. So for these 2 strips, I decided, and this is just me, you can decide whatever you want. But if you look here, this is yellow. And if you look at the very top, that's yellow. And if you look at this shade of gray here, it's the same shade as that one. So I know that that means those 2 papers are the same paper. So I'm going to use this paper. And I'm going to make this strip, let's see, this is my smaller strip. So I'm going to make this strip 2 inches. And I'm going to make the strip up here. It looks pretty small. I want this color to show a little bit more. So I'm guessing that was probably a 1/2 inch strip, but I'm going to make mine 3/4 of an inch, just so it shows up a little bit more. All right. So I'm going to cut those 2 sizes. Let me pull my arm out here just so everything will be straight and not crooked. One strip for the top. And then let's see, what are we doing here? So we're going to do 2 inches on the bottom. So I'm going to turn this and come over this way and cut 2 inches. All right, so that's good. Now, if you look here, this is kind of a statement print that she used, and I like that idea. So I decided I would go with this one. All right, so I am going to cut this one because I think this is a little bit bigger than this one. And if I look here, I think it shows up a little better. This looks bigger to me than that one. So I'm going to make this strip 2.5 inches. So the big one is 2.5 inches and the smaller one is 2 inches. All right, so let me cut that at 2.5 inches. All right, so 2 down. So I can remove the trimmer now. And let's put these, let me get those out of the way for a sec. So here we go. 1 here and 2. These are just so pretty. And 3. All right. So we see how this page is starting to come together. Now, for the circles, I decided, this is a little tricky to figure out. So I took the patterns for my custom cutting system And I literally just laid them out on my paper like so. And I didn't do any cutting, so don't get nervous. I'm going to see if I can take these photos here and just, oh, I can pop them out. I did use repo. All right, so just to give you an idea, so if I put this photo here, if you notice, I got the circle right here, I've got this circle right here, and I've got this one. So I think without doing any cutting at this point, I kind of like the size. These seem to match what's on the sketch. So what I'm going to do here is take my 3 patterns, and then I'm going to take these 3 papers that I want to work with, and I'm going to cut out from one from each circle. Move that over there. So let's see, let's do the big one on this. So I'm going to use the outside groove with all 3 of these with the red blade. All right, so let's do one. Now, if you've never seen the custom cutting system, don't get nervous. I'm going to create a video, one of my next ones actually, and I'm going to be showing you all about this system. It's amazing. It works really well. And I love teaching people how to use it. All right. So let's, one more. So once you figure out what you want to do for measurements and paper and whatnot, this layout goes pretty quickly, I have to tell you. All right. And one last one. Okay. One little piece. Good, good, good. All right. So now let me get these out of the way. And let's bring our page back. Oh, there's never enough room for scrapping, right? All right. So let's see if we can just tack down a few of these pieces just to get everything straight. And what I did too is I also created little templates with my circle patterns, just so I could play with them on and off the paper. And that was really helpful. And I would actually recommend that. It's nice to have something that you can just move around and play with it for sizing. That's a big deal. It's very helpful, in my opinion. But look how quickly this is coming together. It's just all how you think about things. And I feel like using that plus sign that creates the little quadrants, for me, it really was helpful. It helped me get past all the little questions I had. So I'm just going to look here to see how these circles are arranged. And if you notice, like this one's pretty close to the edge, this one's pretty close to the edge, and this one's kind of a little bit closer to the top there. So I think like that. So once you know where you want your pieces, you don't have to pick them up. Just scrap them down where they are. Then you don't have to figure it out again, right? And then you can go up and scrap down, adhere it a little more. And don't worry if there's space in between, because you're going to be putting photos there. So that's going to cover that whole thing up. All right. All right. So let's pretend that I was going to put these photos on this page. So I'm going to do this one slightly askew, and this one up here like so. All right. The rest of this page is embellishing. So that means stickers, embellishments, borders if you want to make them. So here's what this page looks like with all the embellishments without the photos. Okay. So I used the sticker strips here. One thing I did notice is down here, these pieces here, this represents a border. It can be a border strip sticker, it can be a border punch, or it can be a border maker cartridge. This also represents a border, and so does this, and so does this. So this page initially was supposed to have 4 different borders on it if I did it exactly the way it was. When I created this, I felt like that was just going to be too busy. My goal was to frame these 2 photos on my page. So that's why I'm going to put these back on, just so you can see what I mean. All right. So I think I did that there. And this one here. Perfect. I used these borders to just kind of frame what I wanted people to look at. And right here, this is the meat of the page for me. That's what I want people to see. Okay. So you don't have to do exactly everything that is shown. You pick and choose what you want to do. So don't get overwhelmed by that stuff. Go according to your photos. That's what I always do, because really we're doing this because we love our photos, and it's going to be something we can pass on to our future generations. So 4 borders isn't necessary for me on this particular page, but making sure my kids have these photos of themselves with their grandfathers, that's important to me. So remember what your goal is when you're scrapping, and don't get stressed out over the sketches. It's just not worth getting stressed out over. But remember to use the little plus sign technique that I just taught you, and I think it will help you get through it, and you'll create great pages. So that's all I have for today. Please remember, I'm on every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time now, and I hope you'll hit the subscribe button if you like this video. All right. Have a wonderful rest of your Mother's Day weekend, and I hopefully will see, hopefully many of you will see me next week. Bye for now, and thanks for watching.